That was the whole video. Good night. Nah, there's more. After sitting on my butt, my lazy butt, the whole summer, I thought it was time to pick up my camera and actually capture something. A sandwich. No, the sandwich comes later. What I really needed was a personal project. And I think if I'm giving any advice in this video is if you're feeling like unmotivated or you don't know what to shoot, I think if you find maybe like a relative or a friend or a local establishment and just offer to capture some images and some video, it really will spark your creativity, and there's no pressure of like a job or anything like that. So that's what I wanted to do, and I couldn't think of a better place than my favorite deli in the whole world, Fiore's House of Quality. Hey, no spoilers here. We'll get to that. I knew that I wanted to grab my camera and capture John, the owner of Fiore's, just making mozzarella. Oh, it's like the best mozzarella in the world. If you're from Hoboken, that's where I grew up, and that's where Fiore's is. It's also known as mozzarella or mutz, and they have daily specials that just go along with the cadence of life. Sorry, getting romantic about sandwiches. They're most famous for their Thursday and Saturday sandwich, the roast beef mutz and gravy on the side. You can get gravy on the side or you could just get gravy on it. Those are the two most popular days. And I was there on a Monday, which was very interesting because their special that day was Virginia ham and mustard gravy. And I was like, that's not going to be any good. I was so wrong. Now, quick little Easter egg if you do go to Fiore's. First of all, tell them I sent you. And second, if you look at the upper shelf, there's a baby photograph up there. Now, I took that picture when my friend Julie and I thought we were going to be like famous baby photographers / stylists. That didn't happen. But anyway, I went to high school with John's wife, and so they allowed us to sort of, photograph the baby and stuff. But go check out that photo. Now, as far as gear goes, I use the Nikon Z8, which is an excellent photo camera at 45 megapixels, but it also is an incredible video camera. It can do 8K 30, it can do RAW, you can shoot RAW video on this. But I wanted to just shoot it straight out of camera. So everything you're seeing in this video is just straight out of camera, with the following lenses. The first one is, this is the Sigma 28mm 1.4, which is one of my favorite lenses. And I felt this was the perfect lens to get that sort of blurry background / cinematic look that I was going for. Then I used the cheap 50mm 1.8 for a couple of photographs. And then the one I use the most, because I just realized as a videographer, it's great to get all kinds of coverage. The 28 to 70 2.8S lens. And by the way, Nikon just released a new version of this lens, but this is the old version, which is fine. Now, John was a true artist in making the mozzarella. He sort of has done it probably 4 million times. And I felt so privileged to see him make this amazing cheese. Now, to make the mozzarella, you start with actually raw cheese. They have raw curds that he pushes through this stringy guitar thing. And I captured the moment a couple of different ways. He had to do it a couple of times. So I would capture from one angle and then capture the cheese coming down. So in my mind, I was thinking of the shots as I was going along. And what you will see in the finished product is actually from different times of John making the cheese. I just picked the best angles from, you know, the as if the process was done once. I picked the best angles or multiple angles of the same thing. You know, for example, he grabs boiling water, which is the next step actually after you crush all the cheese. I moved to have a shot of him grabbing the boiling water. And then at a different time, I was, you know, in front of him, capturing him pouring the water, and you can combine those two. So if you're a solo creator, you just have to think ahead, like, hey, the sequence of events, I can get it from here, from another angle, then you can piece it together. Now then, John uses this paddle and sort of mixes up all the mozzarella to sort of cook it and melt it into this big glob. And the most fun part was he was just sort of stretching, and you could see that, like, he's got guns from stretching, you know, the mozzarella 1,000 times, and just beautiful movements. And that's what I wanted to capture. Now, if I was a better videographer, I think I would have more dramatic movements. I did have one that I really liked where I zoomed into him pulling the cheese, but I think I felt more comfortable with static shots. I didn't want to move around too much because I felt that making, and John even said this, that making the mozzarella was very zen for him. And I felt that too. It was just calm. Besides the sound that the room was making, I knew I couldn't use any of the sound from the video, so I had to use music. But it was just, I felt that staying still and letting John move was more important to capture. And then the other thing I had to decide was, like, am I going to shoot in real time, 24 frames a second? What will I slow down at 60 frames a second? And then third setting I had on the camera, 120 frames a second, which is super slow-mo. I try not to use that one too much, but it did work great when he was using the paddle, because in real time it was kind of like Then after that, he would grab the whole glob and he was like stretching it and pulling it. He did that about 3 or 4 times. So I would capture, there was one time where I captured photographs of it and then video of it. And then he stretches them into long dudes. And then it was the beautiful braiding process, which I wanted to capture in close up. And then they put the mozzarella in water. And then they put it in like a brine water, which is to like salt it up a little bit. And then they make sandwiches with it. And it's amazing. It was like jarring to go from making this wonderful, beautiful mozzarella where someone all of a sudden is ordering a sandwich and we're out. And I'm capturing John cutting the cheese. I'm like, we just made this and someone's taking it home. It's crazy. I'm getting hungry. Now, what I learned from this as a videographer is I probably in the future will maybe shoot raw. I was using the fluorescent lights that were there. I actually brought a light, but I just didn't want to be so intrusive. So I wanted to wanted John to just do what he does every day without it being any different. So that's something you have to think about if you're going to capture a business or a place, is maybe be as unobtrusive as possible. So I wish I would have shot raw, maybe for more white balance control. So what I did on the Nikon Z8 was I used auto white balance, and it did a fantastic job. But it would be nice if I wanted to warm it up a little bit more to do that in post. So number 1 is maybe I would have shot in raw, like the Kurds. Number 2, I think if I had more time, I definitely would have captured wonderful audio of this whole experience. Maybe not so much as at the location, but maybe a little bit of Foley. And, Foley is when you record sound after. So splashes and sort of, I don't know what cheese sounds like when you stretch it, but like, I don't know. But I think that's what was missing, like a little bit more environment, like to have you feel like you were there.
How's that? Too big, too small?
It's not going to waste.
It's not going to go to waste. We like that.
And then, everyone's attention span is so limited that just every time I was editing it, I was trying to make it shorter and shorter and shorter. And I think, there's something to be said about zen and long form content. I enjoyed watching him do it 4 times. I could have watched it 100 times. And I think I need to remember that too, that long form content is okay. We could show more. Don't go with the trend of like quick cuts and quick cuts. Sometimes it's okay if the cut goes longer. With that said, the final product has a lot of cuts. Okay, we should probably just watch it. I'll see you guys next time.